Your dream is to be a teacher. You become one. And then you develop an allergy to chalk dust. Truth be told, that would turn out to be the least of the challenges my guest would face. Out of the hottest fire comes the strongest steel. As Jamaican poet H.D. Carberry wrote, to create and temper steel needs patience and endurance. These are qualities Esther Tyson embodies. Whether as child who had to contend with abuse, she ran away, teacher and principal, or wife whose husband's life was changed forever as a bullet escaped the barrel of a gun. In Esther Tyson, you'll meet the strength of a woman. This is Profile. Good evening. I am Faye Ellington. Shall I tell you how thrilled I am to have Esther Tyson as my guest? And Esther, H.D. Carberry has been used over and over again by students all across Jamaica with the poem Nature.
Yes.
But this one, My People, this line embodies you, your strength, your patience, your endurance, and it started from your little girl.
That's right, it did.
Make we talk about Chapelton.
Yes.
You grew up in Chapelton. You
I
were
grew
born
up in-
there, grew up there. What were those years like?
Those were good, innocent years. When I think about it, we used to be able to, when it was raining, and there is a hill that's coming down from Chapelton down to Ivy Store where we live. And so when it was raining, we take the coconut bowl and we come down on the road, you know, in the coconut bowl. And of course, Mama would be upset because the uniform is all wet and so. And when you look back, I mean, who does that now? I mean, there are so many cars.
I can identify with that.
Exactly.
Those were glorious days. Cocoa bowing down the hillside.
Yes. And then in summer, we go to Mango Walk. And we'll be picking mangoes, and you don't need to have dinner because you're so full of mangoes.
You used to sing, let me challenge you. We no drink coffee, tea, mango time. Care how nice it may be, mango time. At the height of the mango crop, when the fruit them are ripe and drop, wash your pot, turn them down, mango time. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Who would,
Yes.
they would guess that we rehearsed? No, we didn't. We did not. So you had the mango walk.
Yes.
And what else you did as a child?
Also, my father was a pastor, and he pastored like 10 churches across northern Clarendon. But where we lived in the manse, right beside the church. So our lives revolved a lot around church.
This is in Chapelton itself?
In Chapelton.
Or Ivy Store?
Well, Ivy Store, Chapelton.
Yes, all
you know.
right. Yeah.
So one of the things was that we did a lot of was Daddy was very good at honing. When I was old, I realized that's what he was doing, honing the gifts and skills of young people. So we used to have like Christmas time, summertime, and Easter. There was a production, a dramatic production, and everybody would either be in a play, or you'd be doing a poem, or you'd be singing. And also you had a junior choir that the young ones would be on the choir, would be seated on the platform, and the senior choir on one side, you know, and we'd be on the other side. If we behave ourselves, we could remain on it. But when I think about my peers coming from Chapelton, everybody can sing and harmonize. It just comes so naturally.
It was an era when
Yes.
people did recitations.
Yes.
And you were either in the school choir, the church choir,
Right.
something.
Yes.
You just had to expand that part of you.
Right.
You speak of your father being a
Yes.
reverend. What was his name, rather?
Fergus Simpson, Reverend Fergus Simpson. And he was somebody who loved people. And what I realized that he did was to give us a chance to develop and grow, because he had so many churches. I tell people I learned leadership from Daddy, because he had a number of persons who were deacons, and he would send them to different churches, and then he would rotate amongst them. So he learned how to develop a team of leaders who would work with him. And so that I learned so much from him, just watching him interact with people.
This was Church of God?
Church of God, yes. Church of God in Jamaica. My mother was a housekeeper, but I learned when she died that she was quite an evangelist in her younger days.
Housewife and homemaker.
Yes, she was. So Mama stayed at home, And she was the one who, she was also quite a prayer warrior. So we know, if nothing else, that Mama was praying for us.
So when you said she was, you learned later in life that she was an evangelist.
Yes, yes.
Before she met your dad, or?
Before she met my father, which was one of the reasons they said why his father said he should marry her, because she was this very fair person with long black hair, pretty, and on top of that was a preacher. So she would go around Clarendon preaching in these various churches.
And her name?
Violet Bromfield, and then she became Simpson.
You are the second of 6 children.
Second of 6,
How did
yes.
you all get on?
Well, there were, it's like 3 of us, the 3 older ones, we worked together, but, you know, and then the 3 younger ones. When we grew up, they call myself and my sister, who follows me, Carol, and my youngest sister, Janet, they call us the Trinity in the family because anything one knows, the other knows. So we work together like that. So, but as a family, we are very close. Because
And the boys?
One boy.
Oh, so
Only he was the oldest one. I'm the second, so I'm the oldest girl.
I can imagine how.
But I function like the oldest one.
But you must have given him, as girls, a hard time.
Well, he gave us a hard time. Gave Mom and Daddy a hard time too.
So you attended the Chapelton Primary School.
Yes, I did.
Who are the teachers you remember?
Well, we have Mr. Bartley was the principal. Mrs. Bartley was his wife. She taught at Chapelton Primary School, and, you know, they lived in Principal Cottage right there. And it is something else because one of my good friends now is their daughter, Jeanette Bartley, who is a professor at UTech. And we would talk about Chapelton and the memories of going, you know, down Salem and all of these type of things.
You never go to Summerfield?
I go to Summerfield sometime, but I realize now that Daddy kept us like in a certain space. I was saying there are certain things that my
5 girls. He's not taking
and I
any
left home
chances.
at 11. So there are some experiences that my other sisters who remained in Chapelton had that I did not have because I left
Christmas time
early.
like as a 9, 10-year-old in Chapelton?
Christmas was lovely. First of all, my parents did not give us gifts. Daddy would give us money to go to Grand Market. So we would go to Grand Market up in Chapelton and buy the dolls or whatever we wanted.
Fifi?
Yes, man, and Fifi and
Starlight?
Boom.
Shaboom.
Shaboom. Shaboom. And we'd have a ball late in the night, and then about 12 o'clock, Daddy would call and say, okay, come on in now, you know. And then we'd wake up at 5 o'clock to go to Christmas morning service, and we enjoyed that. And then what would happen is that we'd leave the church at the end of the service, and we'd walk half a mile up to the hospital, Chapelton Hospital, with butter torches, singing carols all the way, and then we'd go up and sing for the patients at the hospital. Those were just very precious memories.
And the singing followed you right through life, has
Yes,
followed
yes,
you right
it has.
through life.
Yes, it has.
Esther Tyson is my guest. You perhaps know the name associated with education in Jamaica. She is indeed an education consultant, but has been principals and teacher and guidance counselor in her own way to so many young people. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'll continue this conversation. She came to Kingston. There was a big high school in Chapelton, but she came to Kingston to Arden High. We're going to find out why. We'll be right back.